Hey everybody, this is DJ Dank, and I'm down here in the DVD dungeon watching movies and gathering things to recommend to you so you can enhance your video collection and your level of cool in your life. And of course, I'm starting off with movies that need to be better released on DVD or released on DVD at all. And the first one, of course, is one of my all-time favorites, and as far as I know, it's never even been released in the United States, even on VHS. It was only released after a theatrical run in Japan on Laserdisc. So I have my my bootleg of Without Warning, which if early in the day of, or back in the day when I was always researching it on eBay, I would always only get that one that was about the president's assistant that got assassinated. That was also named the exact same movie. Or if I was out in the DVD bin search or video bin searching, I would see that and go, Without Warning, oh, is that movie? No, it's the one about James Brady. Well, okay, glad you're better. But I still wanted this movie because it's about the aliens that come to Earth and prey, and it's kind of a riff on the teenagers in the woods with a serial killer, but the serial killer is a alien with a giant fried egg with hook-looking contraption it throws that sucks onto people and digs into them and makes pus bubble up and all kinds of gross stuff. It's just really fun. And of course, it actually has like Jack Palance, Martin Landau, Cameron Mitchell, Larry Storch, and also one of my favorites, Sue Ann Langdon, who evidently when my mother was in high school back in Texas, Sue Ann Langdon was her senior when when my mother was a freshman, and so I've always considered Sue Ann Langdon to be like a special actress. She's not in much, but she's also in Zapped with Scott Baio and Willie Ames as one of the horny teachers. So, go career. Anyway, this movie, Without Warning, totally good, totally deserves. I mean, if Savage Streets with Linda Blair can be released on a double disc DVD edition, I think that we could somehow find the rights to do this, to do Without Warning. It's also directed by Graydon Clark, who's done a number of great exploitation films throughout the years. So, other things I'd like to see come out on a better DVD release is, I've mentioned it before, Jennifer. Jennifer is the hillbilly girl that has Carrie-like powers, but they're over snakes instead of telekinesis. And she goes to the Snooty Girls School run by Nina Foch, with the handsome teacher who understands her, played by Bert Convy. And, why is this out on DVD already? And so anyway, they pick on her until she finally uses her hillbilly powers over the snakes to attack the girls at the disco prom. So, I mean, what's not to love about that? Again, I call for Jennifer to come on DVD, double disc, triple disc, everything disc, and everything on it, because this is a camp classic waiting to happen. Well, it's already here. You just need to discover it. And then another cult classic, camp classic, and one of the movies that I first saw when I was a kid that made me think, wow, not all movies that are bad are necessarily bad. They're also kind of good and funny too, because this one's funny and it's really bad, but it's good, and it's actually better nowadays. It's Killer Fish with Lee Majors, the $6 Million Man. It also stars Karen Black. Sorry you're dead, Karen, but at least you made this movie. And also Marissa Berenson, who starred in Cabaret and Girl, You Are a Long Way from Cabaret. And for James Franciscus, who's from the Planet of the Apes movies. I mean, this is like stock for me when I was a kid when I saw it. It's produced by Carlo Ponti, who married Sophia Loren and is a big highfalutin producer in Italy. And this was one of the productions that Lee Majors did with Farrah Fawcett whenever they got married back in the 70s, were the power couple of the time. And so this is all about these jewel thieves who do this elaborate jewel heist in the beginning of the film, and then throw all the jewels into this lake to keep them safe until all the heat's off. And one of them decides to put piranhas in there to protect their investment. And so then a flood happens, and supermodels are involved, and a really irritating, loud, fat fashion photographer named Ollie is involved, and there's people being attacked by fish, and there's drama, and there's disco, and there are some crazy ass 1970s disco outfits all throughout this movie. It is camp fantastic. But, I watched it the other day, and it's still a pretty decent little action film. It moves along. It's well made. So I think that's why it should get a nice big DVD release. And let's get Lee Majors to talk about this. Oh, and also Margot Hemingway's in this from Lipstick, one of the all-time bad actresses, right up there with Pia Zadora and Tori Spelling. So, this is just a win-win. And these are just a few ideas of movies I think should be in my DVD dungeon instead of my VHS dustbin, which, is still quite full of some amazing stuff, as you can see. But, let's move on up into the new millennium here. So this has been DJ Dank at the DVD Dungeon. Check me out. Subscribe to my YouTube account. And follow me on Twitter at Videoid. And also underthegoldengate.com. Underthegoldengate.com. You can see Film Feud and my other stuff, as well as Facebook, Dan Karkoska. So see you later. Thanks.
To make me wait, to throw me back in the fire. I just can't seem to get you out of my head with your poison arrows sinking into my bed. I'm thinking 4 letter words when I think about